just have some all the time. From Southern Cal, born and raised, did marry a Bostonian, my husband's from Boston. So I have 3 sons. My 2 youngest are still in high school. They're 15 and 17 and play track and football. But I'm excited to share a little bit about my story. And although I will talk about the Olympics, I will talk about softball and kind of my journey, what I have found and what I know to be true, myself and these other pro athletes that usually speak for sports world as we travel and we share, is these lessons that we've learned, they apply to every aspect of life. They apply to everybody, no matter if you like sports or you never played a day in your life, any sport. They really are principles, is what they are. Because anybody who goes on to do anything successful, there's core pieces. I've done a lot and met a lot of very successful people in the business world, especially in the last year or 2. And the more I talk to these people, I realize, man, it's just so related to the core pieces that help me win gold medals. It's the same thing. I've had a lot of opportunities past softball, post my softball life on a field, to do things that I never thought possible. But when I look at the big picture, I'm reminded that when I was a high school student, when I was in junior high and high school, there were certain things and certain core values and choices that I was making that started young that helped me to be able to reach these next levels pretty quickly. Because there were a lot of people around me that were immediately counting themselves out, some of them just by the choices they were making. I've given it to God and followed His lead. He has opened unbelievable doors for me. And so I grew up playing softball as a young girl. Softball and soccer. Just kind of fell in love with it. The first thing is that hard work always pays off. Always. My parents, they didn't make a lot of money, okay, but they were willing to sacrifice a little bit. I was the firstborn. My dad loved baseball, and when I just took to softball, I was very much a tomboy, very athletic, loved competition, wanted to be with my teammates, just wanted to play. I always, had a ball in my hand. But at the time, there were starting to be, because of Title IX, there were starting to be more opportunities for females to get a college scholarship and get their education paid for. Nobody in my family, my parents did not go to university, so I was the first one that was going to do that, so I have no idea what that entailed. School did not come easy for me. I did not have a very good memory, but man, I worked hard, and I saw that when I did, good things came out of it. There were people a lot smarter than me, didn't get as good a grades, but only because they didn't try. I was just willing to try harder. It's kind of been the name of my game, right? Is I'll outwork anybody, and with that, I'll go further than most people. And that's a choice. That's not a talent level or skill level. You can go after whatever you want. You can make your own opportunities, but at the same time, are you willing to work for it? Because whoever is, again, it's out there. And so, for me, college was a goal. I'm very big on knowing what you want to do. Now, what I didn't realize is God had a bigger plan for me at Arizona than just getting my education paid for and winning national championships and becoming an All-American. Those are great things. And at the time, I thought that's what it was. Softball is a means to an end. But God had such a bigger plan than I could ever realize. And I got to Arizona my freshman year. I have this moment that I like to share because it was fall and I was just learning. I was a pitcher, highly recruited, out of Southern California, and I felt pretty good until I got into this team and you're like, wow. Okay, some of these athletes are 4 years older than me. I'm a freshman at the bottom again, and this is like the top level at that time. And I was pitching, and I threw this ball in our inter-squad scrimmage to one of the best home run hitters in the entire nation. And she launches and crushes this ball so far. And I'll never forget going back that night to my dorm room and just inside really questioning, do I have what it takes? And I want to tell you all right now, and I want you to know, pro athletes, elite players, Olympic gold medalists, all have times where they question and doubt. If you have questions and doubts at times, it's what you do with that matters. If you stay there and you let that continue to beat you down, you won't go on to do what God has for you. But if you say, hey, what can I learn from this doubt? What can I learn from this? And how do I actually get better from it? I'm thankful I called my mom and she kind of gave me a little perspective and let me talk it through. She's like, Leah, you want to give up your college scholarship? You want to come back to SoCal? So your friends have gone off to college, just a few people, you know some of the high school kids still, you just want to give it all up? And I was just like, yeah, no, I don't like this feeling. I don't want this feeling that I'm having. I am having those moments of doubt, but I don't want to give this up. And you guys, there's something about belief. Other people can believe in you. You guys, and that, I love that. I have coaches that I'm telling you, they help me to raise my standards and raise my beliefs. But listen, nobody can believe for you.
It's important for me to talk to these students because I want to inspire them in whatever career field they choose to go in or whatever passions they have. I've been able to reach the pinnacle in my sport, but it's the principles that connect with anything that people do. And so I want to inspire, I want to impact, and I want to remind those that want to go out and try to make the best things possible happen. I want them to know they can do it.